Hey, so I'm doing another book review because I can. I actually finished this book recently, Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. It was another uni read, and I thought, you know what, let's review it. So, generally speaking, it's a story about this guy. It's a post-apocalyptic story about this guy who has survived this. Well, I can't really spoil the story, but he survived this apocalyptic thing. And the only people left are these genetically modified people who are built to survive better than he is in the current environment that they are in. And he has somehow become their custodian of sorts, but like they're his responsibility. He has to talk to them and sort of look after them apart from them looking after themselves as a tribe. And it goes through the entire story of like flashbacks. A lot of it is in flashbacks of him flashing back to when he was a kid and as he grew up before the apocalyptic incident, and how he meets people in his life and what they do, and his mother runs away and things like that. And he meets Crake in his school, who is this brilliant genius of a kid who ends up creating these people for the future. And it sort of goes to the story of his life, and also that of Crake, and also of Oryx, who is the woman he loves, and how she comes into their life, and how she becomes a part of this whole scheme with these people. So these people are called the children of Crake. So all people, or these humanoid things, are called the children of Crake, and all animals are called the children of Oryx, by this new tribe. And so the children of Crake are enhanced human beings, really. They have, they're sunburnt resistant. They come in all different colours and sizes and generally the same shape, since they're all human. They all have, so they're sun resistant. They have natural mosquito repellents. They have different systems of communicating and protecting themselves. They purr. Now see, I thought this was brilliant, because the frequency of a purr of a cat is the same frequency used to heal broken bones. And so Crake used that as a way to help heal them, so that there would be no need for doctors, and things couldn't, particularly like injury and things, couldn't wipe them out so easily, that they were less likely to get infected and things like that. Their immune system was a lot better than your average human being, so they were less likely to get infections or illnesses. And they have the digestive system of a rabbit, so they don't need to kill anything else. They are pure vegetarian, or quite frankly vegan, because they're herbivores, really. They don't need to depend on another animal to survive, so they can eat leaves or grass or whatever else, and their digestive system sort of takes it in and it's fine. Generally in this world there are a lot of genetically modified things. For example, there are things called warthogs, which they have the genetics of a wolf, but they look like dogs, so they're vicious and they're rabid creatures. There's also, as pointed out on the cover, green rabbits, so that you can spot them. I think they're fluorescent green at night or something. So yeah, you can spot them at night. And there's also rakunks, which are, I think, raccoons and skunks and things like that. So there's a lot of genetic modification in this book about the future. Futuristic, post-apocalyptic style book. It's really interesting as to how things end up how they are. It goes through in flashbacks and explains, you know, how Crake created these creatures, these humanoid things, these children of Crake, and how Oryx comes into the story, and what the main character Snowman, who is also known as Jimmy, has to do with this whole entire universe and world, and what he has to do and why he is responsible for these people. Because he's the last of his kind left on Earth. And it's really interesting, and I thought it was a great book. I rather enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into it. I remember the start was a bit hard to get into, but once I got into it, it got really interesting. And it's not that thick of a book. If you have a look, it's quite normal size. I think it's a good 440 odd pages. So yes, it's a good book. I definitely recommend it. There are a few things that I rather liked in this book, a few passages, if I can find them, that are very good. Let's see, no, that's not it. Might find it in a sec. Here we go. "What is toast?" says Snowman to himself, once they've run off. "Toast is when you take a piece of bread." "What is bread?" "Bread is when you take some flour." "What is flour?" "We'll skip that part, it's too complicated. Bread is something you can eat, made from a ground-up plant and shaped like a stone. You cook it." "Please? Why do you cook it? Why don't you just eat the plant?" "Never mind that part, pay attention. You cook it, then you cut it into slices, and you put a slice into a toaster, which is a metal box that heats up with electricity." "What is electricity?" "Don't worry about that. While the slice is in the toaster, you get out the butter. Butter is a yellow grease made from the mammary glands of—" skip the butter. "So the toaster turns the slice of bread black on both sides, with smoke coming out, and then this toaster shoots the slice up into the air, and it falls on the floor." "Forget it," says Snowman. "Let's try again. Toast is a pointless invention of the Dark Ages. Toast was an implement of torture, and caused all subjected to it to regurgitate in verbal form the sins and crimes of their past lives. Toast was a ritual item devoured by fetishists in the belief that it would enhance their kinetic and sexual powers. Toast cannot be explained by any other rational means." Which I thought was interesting, how he reinvents the definition of toast. There's another part that I liked in this book. Crake used to say, "Our arboreal ancestors used to shit on their enemies from above while perched in trees. All planes and rockets and bombs are simply elaborations on that primate instinct." "What if I die up here in this tree?" he thinks. Will it survive me right? Why, who will ever find me? And so what if they do? Oh look, another dead man. A big fucking deal. Common as dirt. Yeah, but this one's in a tree, so who cares? "I'm just not any dead man," he says out loud. "Of course not. Each one of us is unique, and every single dead person is dead in his or her very own special way. Now who wants to share about being dead in your own special words? Jimmy, you seem eager to talk. Why don't you begin? Oh, torture. Is this purgatory? If it is, why is it so much like the first grade?" So yeah, it's comical, I find, in its sort of way of describing things. A bit satirical. But it does reflect on our society today, and it does reflect on the commonplace things that we seem to hold as, commonplace and ordinary, but to another species or to another kind of human, it seems odd. Yes, I really like this book, and I recommend it for anyone who would like a good read. I liked it indeed, and it was another uni read, and I really did like it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you guys go out and find more books to read and have fun reading like I have been.